Greetings, YouTube. I've spent about 24 hours taking notes and trying to lay out some kind of order as far as how this video is going to go, because I realize when I do one of these editorials and take on something that could be viewed as negative or maybe like dramatic, sometimes people say controversial. There are two sides to every video. Some people will see this headline and immediately think, oh, here we go again. And some people will see this and hopefully think, yeah, I know why he's making this video. So Sabretooth in front of you is why this video has started where it is. And the ultimate result of a bizarre weekend of public relations moves by Kabam, largely through their content creator program, has led us to eventually get a buff of Sabretooth, where instead of 15 Furies, he'll now do 30 Furies. And I've had people message me, some quite vulgar, that I should do a video just praising Kabam for the Sabretooth buff, and I should say nothing else. It should just be a positive video where I basically just praise the company. But I think it's a lot more complicated than that. And I think the whole relationship with the content creator program in general is a reflection of how complicated this is. Because over the weekend, the same time Kabam released Sabretooth crystals to purchase, and I'm sure they made quite a bit of coin on that, there were not videos promoting that Sabretooth could be 30 Furies deep. There were videos saying it could be 50 plus Furies. And Kabam had to know, in people that, by the way, I respect and I enjoy watching, and I continue to respect and I enjoy watching after this, they had to know that those people were promoting something that wasn't actually going to happen. Now, if you say that your $15, if you buy a stock, is going to be worth $50, and it turns out that it's only worth $30, there's two ways to look at that. You can look at that and say, well, I still doubled my money, so it's a profit, great. Or you could say, they told me that it was $50, knew it was inflated by $20, and were willing to take that sacrifice because they wanted to hype something up. That is the role of the content creator program. Make no mistake about it. It's to hype up champions so that Kabam makes more money. They are essentially a public relations wing for a company on social media. And I'm not saying that that idea is bad or that if I ran Kabam I wouldn't have it, because I think it's effective in terms of promotion. But we also have to realize that 2020 is a year with a lot of average champions so far. As much as it pains me to say this, somebody who is crazy hyped up, like Mole Man, is not the skill version of Corvus. You're not Corvus 2.0. This goes far back beyond Mole Man, though, of course, in which the most clear example of this still to me is when everybody said Prox of Midnight was, of course, going to be Star-Lord 3.0, and instead, because of damage caps and crazy long ramp-up times, the champion in that same month that was released a couple years ago that ended up being head and shoulders way more hyped in terms of actual reality was a 6-star that now everybody is sought after, and every time I see somebody land on 6-star Prox, I just get okay. And that's, of course, 6-star Corvus. And that was not the champ that the content creator program had the exclusive access to, like Prox. And look, I get why eventually it was exciting to do that level of damage. Personally, I think the best thing Kabam did was make everybody the content creator program for the first champ this month and give us that unique Guardian access, and then make the second champ of the month the content creator program access. So you give everybody a 3-star, you let them test it out for themselves in real time, and then at the same time, you give yourself still the option with the program you run to take the second featured champion, since we know there are going to be 2 featured champions every month from now on. And because some months there used to be like 1, and then some months there were 3, and so 2 is just, it's good consistency. It still gives us a chance to anticipate things like the early access bundles you see in front of you. But it's complicated because on one hand, the content creator program did a blessing and a curse to Kabam this weekend. They did a blessing for the community ultimately because they made Kabam have to, in a way, buff Sabretooth to save face after they promoted the Furies. And without that promotion, I feel very strongly that Kabam never would have touched Sabretooth, and they would have just kept him, quote unquote, bugless. But they did a disservice because they allowed an unrealistic expectation of 50 plus Furies to live for days until that crystal was no longer in the store. And then they said, oh, it's a long standing bug. Which, by the way, how many champions are going to get tagged with long standing anti player bugs? I would love to see them give us a list of those champions in real time, not months from now, when suddenly that champion is doing God tier or beyond God tier damage and they have to do some kind of damage control. Their job right now should be to identify and be transparent about those champs so there are no surprises. That's what's led to so much controversy over things like the rebalancing program. And let's be honest, the rebalancing program hurt Kabam's public relations image. And that's why they're so careful right now about releasing champions that are too OP. So they fall somewhere in the middle where they have some utility. But overall, are they going to be a champion that you take above others that are more proven and reliable to rank 5 as 5 stars or rank 2 or rank 3 as 6 stars? Probably not. So it is a complicated relationship. But what I ask for the content creator program, and maybe this is unrealistic, is, at some point, there's going to be a champion that they give you. Like the first rendition of Ebony Coleslaw, if you had got your hands on the champion. That's just straight trash. And the best thing is to actually say in those videos, yeah, until this champ's improved, I'd boycott him. Because you don't want to waste money on him. What concerns me, and the main reason why I'm making this video, is that money, especially during a global pandemic, has never been more precious and more scarce and more important. Disposable income is hard to come by in a mobile game where an early access bundle could easily feed one person for a few days, if not a week, depending on your budget, and you could easily just get 3 stars and want to quit the game. So it's important to not overhype champions so that people are tempted in this Marvel casino of champions to spend money they don't have on champions that are just going to end up being a disappointing lack of actual relevance and overall production output versus what the perceived hype was going to be of that overhyped champion. It's a complicated relationship that going forward, I think also, if I was in the content creator program, which honestly it's a good thing I'm not, and Kabam had some very understandable reasons why they would not want me in it. If I was in that program and I saw this crazy synergy buff like the one that Sabretooth was highlighted this weekend, and I'm in this group chat that content creator programs have with Kabam allegedly, I would say, look, can we put this out to the community and know it's not going to be nerfed in 3 days? And make them answer it that day. Don't wait 3 days or 4 days until they've made a ton of money off the crystal to post a forum post. Make them actually communicate with you in real time, because it's, if those videos had come out and then like an hour later or 2 hours later they'd say, just kidding, we're going to scale it back, but maybe we're still going to end up buffing Sabretooth, we're having an entirely different conversation. That's far different of a world than waiting 3 days, making a ton of money off of it, and then scaling back the promise that the synergy is going to have abyss level damage. And don't get me wrong, I still think the buff of Sabretooth is good overall. I'm thankful they had a compromise, and the 30 Furies is going to be a great addition to this champion. But to let the Furies think it's going to be 50 plus for 3 or 4 days with the program that you're having be the hype machine for your company and staying silent so you make as much cash as possible is still immoral to me, and I'm not going to change that position at all. It is a complicated relationship when it comes to the content creator program. It's something that we will continue to monitor, and there are a lot of people in this program that I respect, that I'm friends with, or at least somewhat communicative with, and I continue to be. This is not supposed to be a video that takes a shot at those people. It's just letting Kabam do what they've promised that they're going to do, and that's be transparent from the beginning, so that if they see that there's this hype, especially if it's a game-changing synergy, they address it immediately and not after they've made their money and then taking it back somewhat. I still say if you buy a $50,000 car and you get a great deal and you think it's worth $15,000 and you get quoted as $50,000, but then they change it to $30,000, you still have a reason to feel slighted and cheated that it went down in 20%, especially if the company knew all along that the price that they quoted you had no basis in reality. That's what happened this weekend, and I still think going forward it's going to be a complicated relationship that demands transparency. If we expect what the product that we pay for in these crystals and the product that we grind for in the arena to actually equal who we play with every day once we spend our hard-earned money achieving that champion.